I guess we'll talk 6A. To 6A Division 2 we go, where intrigue abounds, with 3 different teams predicted to win state championships. A lot of intrigue here. Everyone's zigging and zagging a little bit. We'll start with Region 1. Region 1 is where you find some unanimity. We're all on South Lake Carroll. Now, I don't know if that makes me sure that South Lake Carroll is going to win, but they have looked the most consistent and the most complete within this region. If you want to pick another team, I think you've got to say, well, Denton Geyer can put it together, and they've got the highest upside. I think of the non-South Lake Carroll teams in 6A Division 2, Region 1, Denton Geyer's got the highest upside.
I think most years you look at what Arlington Bowie has done this season and you're putting them a little bit more on a pedestal. Mm-hmm. But until they get into the playoffs and knock off a team like South Lake Carroll, it's hard to pick something like that, right?
Yeah. And I agree that Geyer would be the next one. The reason I didn't go with Geyer was their offensive inconsistency gives me heartburn.
Yeah, exactly right. Like when they play well, they beat Aledo. You know what I mean? But it hasn't necessarily been consistent. To Region 2, everyone's taking DeSoto. 2-time defending champs. They've been excellent. The offense, absolutely electrifying. The playmakers they've got, they are a lot of fun to watch. Except... Hi.
There we go, Claude. Go ahead and cut this.
I'm going with Willis.
I thought you were calling ISO on the one shot, too, to...
Nope.
No, I'm doing
editorialize.
that.
I've been Willis pilled. I'm in on this team. I think that they have got the defense. I think they've got, amazing to say, the quarterback.
He's fun. He's a fun
Jack
player.
Emerson. And they have, I think, one of the most electrifying players in Texas high school football in Jermaine Bishop.
He's the most electrifying athlete.
Yes. I think so. He is... And they would see each other in a regional semifinal, right? DeSoto and Willis. I'll just say this. I think the winner of that game is winning state. That's what I'll say.
I agree with you. I also want to give you a little bit of credit. Cover your ears, Ashley. Mm-hmm. Because you were able to pick Texas High and Willis. Those were the 2 teams that
you struggled with?
That I really struggled with, because I agree with you. I think the winner of the DeSoto-Willis game wins the whole thing here.
Yeah, I think so. I think DeSoto-Willis is in a regional semifinal would be box office. And I think I trust Willis's defense a little bit more. I think that the offenses are going to do what the offenses do, okay? The offenses are terrific. But I think that in a track meet, I think I trust Willis's defense just a little bit more.
I'm going to give the slight edge to DeSoto's offense and the slight edge to Willis's defense.
Yeah.
Both of them mash up front on the offensive line.
I know. That's going to be, to me, that's my thing, is like whoever wins that regional semifinal matchup between DeSoto and Willis, I think would be the favorite to win the state championship. To Region 3, where all of us, everyone in lockstep, believes that Summer Creek is going to win the Region 3. They've, of course, played for a state championship last year. Their 2 losses are to North Shore and Atascocita. I don't know why anybody would ever pick against Summer Creek. We go live to Greg Powers on why he picked against Summer Creek. Katie Jordan!
Yeah, I think Katie Jordan has the most explosive playmaker in this Region 3 with Andrew Marsh. They've had a really tough schedule this year. Summer Creek has to beat Hightower and Katie Jordan to go through. I mean, it's hard picking against Summer Creek, right? But if there's a year to pick Katie Jordan, a school not named the Katy Tigers, to advance far in the playoffs, this is the year, I think. They've had a really good year, but Hightower, Jordan, and Summer Creek, I mean, I'm happy with any of those 3 I think could come out.
Region 4, for me, is the headline is, can San Antonio finally get over the Austin area hump, right? Can they do it? Cibolo Steel looks like they have the pieces. And the good thing is that they will not see, in my mind, the super duper upper crust Austin teams, right? The Lake Travis and Westlake specifically. But Vandergrift is not to be trifled with. They had that one loss to Dripping Springs, I think, in week 1. Mm-hmm. And then they've rattled off 9 straight and kind of looked like Vandergrift of old.
It's a tale of 2 teams, I think, in that why I picked Vandergrift over Steele was that I took the team that I thought was more battle-tested in the trenches versus the team that has the most weapons. Steele could easily win this game. They are so much fun with Jalen Cooper and Royal Capel and Jonathan Hatton and Chad Warner. They got a lot of pieces to the puzzle on that Steele team.
I think that it is. I think it's a lot of fun. And Seal has got playmakers, but Vandegrift, I mean, again, there's just the bugaboo of like Austin. Austin had San Antonio's number. Stepp and Hartley are going with South Lake Carroll to win the title.
Yeah, I almost did.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
That was the biggest debate that I had in my mind. I just felt like we haven't seen South Lake get over that DeSoto hump, and that's a tall task.
I'm full send on Willis, plain and simple. And then Ish, Pickle, and Powers think that DeSoto will three-peat. So there's our state championship predictions for 6A Division II. That's a bracket that gave me heartburn. But I don't know. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. And what I also love about Region 3, to go back to that, in the past, Region 3 has been, it's whoever's left over from 6A Division I. I think there's legitimate depth and strength in Division 2 of Region 3 of Division 2 this year, which is not always the case. We will round it all out with 6A Division I. This one is much more chalky until you get to the title games. Start with Region 1. All of us have North Crowley. They, to me, are I don't know if I would go prohibitive favorite to win Region 1, but I think they are a clear favorite. And the team that I think is best suited to beat them is the team they might see in a state semi or regional final, which would be Allen. And the way that Allen plays, their defense has been lights out. I just think the weaponry for North Crowley is overwhelming.
I agree with that. I think Campbell could give them a really good game as well if we get that matchup. Of course, Campbell has a very tough first-round game against Prosper. Trinity is when a Trinity team has what they have up front and a great running back, Trinity is like a scary playoff team, right? Because if those things are firing on all cylinders, it's just something that you can't stop. Now, they give up a lot of points on defense throughout the course of the season. So
all of us are on Duncanville in Region 2. It does. I don't feel like. I think Duncanville is, to me, a clear favorite in Region 2. I look at Region 2, and I'm struggling to come up with a team that could really challenge them. It might be a team like Bridgeland.
Or the Woodlands, if everything is firing. Right?
I think that was the easiest pick to make out of this bracket. We don't need to spruce it up.
I think Duncanville is the clear favorite in Region 2. Region 3. Again, we're all going North Shore with the exception of one. We'll get to that dude in a moment. We're all going with North Shore. I think we were all really impressed with what they did to Summer Creek in Week 11. And obviously they beat Atascocita. Stepp is going with Atascocita in a rematch. I think he's well within their rights. I think there's an argument to be made that of the 48 minutes of that game, they were the better team for 26 of them. You know what I mean? You can get them. That said, I think you saw the North Shore defense and what they're capable of. And when that offense starts to hum, they are dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Now, their path, North Shore would have to go Deer Park in round 1, Ridge Point in round 2. It's a good Ridge Point team, an athletic Ridge Point team. Katy in round 3, and then potentially Atascocita in round 4. That's if Atascocita, by the way, gets past Dickinson in the first round.
Right. That's a tremendous first round game. I always think about this like looking through the D1 and D2. Like if you put Ridge Point and D2, Region 3, are they the favorite?
Yeah. I think they would.
They're one of them.
I think they would be on par with Summer Creek. Plain and simple. They would be on that short list.
It's a dangerous team. It's a dangerous path for North Shore this year, and they've shown that they've sometimes been irresponsible with the ball on the offensive side, but it's tough to pick against in playoff time, I can tell you that.
Totally agree. And then Region 4, we are unanimous in Westlake. To me, it comes down to Westlake or Lake Travis, plain and simple. I'd love to dream on a San Antonio team. I just don't see it. And Westlake's already beaten Lake Travis relatively handily.
Yeah, between Reese Wise on the offensive side and then their stout defense,
I agree.
It's too hard.
And so, for state championships, Mallory, Ishmael, and Powers, the three-peat for Duncanville. Other than that, Keelan Russell.
Yeah, Keelan Russell, DeCorian Moore. I mean, this should be one of the most loaded. They don't have Caden Durham this year, but, I mean, they've let the offense loose.
Yep, they absolutely have.
You never thought you'd say that about Reginald Staples' coach team, right? Like they're airing it out.
Pickle, North Shore.
What I saw from their defense has been enticing to me, because that was the issue last year in the game. Duncanville still had all those same parts that they have this year. They were operating just as good last year as they are this year. I think this North Shore defense has taken a massive step forward, and I think that their offense is a little bit more versatile and set in than it was last year.
Steps going with the Atascocita, because I presume he thinks that they beat North Shore in a rematch, or North Shore doesn't get there, and Atascocita. I mean, look, Carde Mack, Torrey Blaylock, they've got the dudes, plain and simple. My worry on Atascocita is I worry if they've gotten worn down. They played a brutal schedule, and I wonder if they've gotten worn down and they're going to be ready for a 6-week march.
I worry about them because they have a dependency on one or two players that really makes them go, and if something happens to one of those one or two players.
And then I'm going with North Crowley. I'm just full send on North Crowley. I think that the playmakers they've got, I think that the offense, I think that they are going to be able to score on basically anybody. I think you're looking at a North Crowley North Shore title game, which would be, oh my gosh, so much fun.
They have that one player that has, there's always sometimes that one player that comes on his senior year and does all this miraculous stuff. Well, that one player for this season is Quentin Gibson.
I agree. And between him, Chris Jemerson, they're loaded for bear. And I think I like North Crowley to win it. But 6A Division I, I will say this. In past years, it's felt like fait accompli that we were going to get North Shore Duncanville, North Shore Duncanville, North Shore Duncanville.
It does feel more open.
We still might. I want to be very clear. There's a good chance we do. But it feels like there's a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot more chaos potentially.
I'm picking Westlake, so.
You think Westlake's going to beat North Shore?
I mean, if Atascocita doesn't beat North Shore or Katy doesn't beat North Shore, I think it's a perilous road, and I think Westlake,
I will say this.
Westlake's going to be ready for that game
If North Shore can win this title, if North Shore wins the title, like think about the road they would have to pass. It would be like Deer Park, Ridge Point, Katy, Atascocita a second time, Westlake, and then North Crowley or Duncanville. Like, you want to talk about earning a title, they would absolutely have done that. Other than that, we haven't done a whole lot of thinking about the Texas high school football playoffs, so we've been kind of just sitting around. Not a whole lot.
Let's go ahead and make some more brackets up. Let's make some more graphics today.
Please, God, no. Please let me sleep. Please let Pickle sleep. Jesus. Do you have any final thoughts, Pickle?
TexasFootball.com/playoffs, your home for the 2024 Texas High School Football Playoffs. We've got everything that you can need on there, so go check that out. And then, as Tepper mentioned, we've got live Texas High School football and Texas high school volleyball happening on Dave Campbell's Texan Live, so make sure to tune into that.
Go do it, TexasFootball.com/playoffs. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. For Ashley Pickle and Greg Powers, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please get your Player of the Year trophy. Throw that piece of paper at the camera. Oh, we'll see you Thursday on Texas Football Today.
Don't hit my cameras.